guys, and welcome to Exchange Lab Community's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to make friends as an exchange student. And the friends topic is supposed to be, great and fun and we want to have friends. But unfortunately, I feel like this is probably one of the most hardest aspects of being an exchange student. I have a weekly Q&A on our Instagram, and I get a lot of questions about how can I make friends, why do I have no friends, etc. Because it sucks, not having friends when you haven't really dealt with that in your life from before. But obviously there is no recipe or blueprint on how to make friends. It definitely matters if you go to a big school or a small school. I went to both. It was completely different, roads to getting friends on those. And maybe you have a whole sibling on your age from before that could help, rather than if you're all alone and stuff. So I will talk a little bit about different things, how to make friends, and if you don't have friends, why that is okay and stuff. So let's just get into it. So the first thing that I want to say is that as an exchange student, you really have to be the instigator to make friends, and that honestly sucks. You're already so far out of your comfort zone. You're probably on the other side of the world, in a new family, in a new language. Everything is just exhausting from before, and then you have to be the one who takes initiative, get yourself out there and stuff. But that is because everyone has their own friends there. On my first school, people had known each other from kindergarten. They don't really have any reason to include me, but I have every reason to want to be included, So you really have to be on your toes and just take every opportunity that you can. Ask people what there is to do in your town. Maybe you could do that together. What's the best coffee place? Where's the movies? Or when's the school dance? Do you want to eat something before the school dance? But again, this differs. Maybe you don't have to do anything. People may just come up to you, and that's great. But as I said, I think in general, as an exchange student, being alone, you have to be the one who takes action to make those friendships. You can't expect them to just come. And then I have some tips for the first days and weeks and stuff. And for me personally, at least, setting the standard right away just works. If you are that instigator from the first moment, it is hard. Or if you're not there, it'll be harder to get up there unless you're there from the start. So just take you being new, nobody knows you, to your advantage. Just get your face out there. Do not go to the back corner desk in your classroom. Sit next to someone that looks nice and just give them a compliment. In the hallway, ask people, where is the bathroom, where's the library, where's my next class? And just do that to a lot of people. Even though somebody said where the bathroom was, ask another one. First of all, a conversation starter, but also you get your face out there, and they're oh, there's a new girl, I haven't talked to her before. And then you can say you're an exchange student and they might be interested, and maybe you can hang out at lunch and stuff. So yeah, especially just take those first days and weeks, even though, as I said, you're already overwhelmed being new there and stuff, but try those first weeks and hopefully that'll work to your advantage, kind of. And now let's go over to some more specific tips on how to get friends and more deeper connections. My first tip, if you are able to, I know some people don't really have to take real classes because your year doesn't get approved and stuff. So if you can pick and choose whatever class you want to, I would highly suggest interactive and practical classes. Some of my greatest American friends came from my PE class, simply because we were in the locker rooms together every day, not having to focus on a teacher or doing math and whatever. We could actually talk, we could joke around. Then we had PE together, team sports, and you could actually have fun together. I didn't feel like I made friendships in other classes because you had to pay attention to a class and people are doing school, but in interactive class ceramics, theater, PE, yoga, drawing, that kind of creative stuff and things, you actually kind of have time to get to know people instead of just small talk. So that is definitely what came first to my mind, because that is where I made my friends. But I also heard another great way to make friends is doing a sport. You hang out, again, not having to focus on school, you hang out a lot doing that sport. And a relationship with a friend takes time, kind of. So when you spend a lot of time together, it forms. I personally, unfortunately, don't have a lot of experience with that because my school wouldn't let me do a sport. In the fall when I got there, and then in the winter term, I was kind of desperate for more friends, so I was obviously I'm doing a sport, but I could only choose between basketball and swimming, and I did a basketball, not tryout, but I joined a practice with them before tryouts, and that was not my thing, because a lot of them had done it for years. But swimming was new that year, so a lot of people were beginners. So I was perfect, I'm doing swimming. And again, we had fun in the locker rooms and on the bus drives and stuff, but especially swimming, you're kind of spending a lot of your time in the water and you can't really talk to people. So that was a bad idea. I was not great at swimming. I've always loved the ocean and swimming, but that kind of ruined it for me. So I'm kind of traumatized. I cried at my first, what are they called? Like a competition. Everyone thought I was ridiculous, but like, yeah, that was not fun. And then I changed school, so I didn't do for the rest of the winter semester. And then for spring, I tried out for soccer. And again, I feel like I made some friends from just like the tryout period, but then I didn't make varsity and I was like, I'm not doing JV, sorry. So I was gonna do track and I was so excited, but then I got sent home because of Corona. So I didn't really do a lot of sport. But another thing, like if you're not really a sport person, ask to be a cheerleader or like a helper for the sport team, because when I, as I said, didn't do well on my first swim meet, I asked to like not compete in the next one, but to be like a mental support, so I could join like the bus ride and being there with them but not compete, just like being there and cheering them on. And that they let me do that, so that's definitely something I would consider if you don't want to do the sport yourself but still want to get friends that way. The next one I have are clubs. I don't know if like European schools have clubs, but the US does at least. And on my first school, clubs were after school and a lot of people stayed, and it was so much fun because it seemed like people were really interested in doing the club because it was after school. But on my second school, the clubs seemed to not be like seen as the same way. First of all, they were during the lunch break and a lot of people just like left the school for lunch. So there weren't that many people doing clubs, and the ones who didn't really, like I went to a like new, it was supposed to be like a community club. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like just like a social group, and they had like snacks, they said, and stuff. So I was like, great, I'm new, I'm gonna go to that club. And like when I came to that classroom at that time, they were like, oh, you're here? Yeah, like isn't this a welcome club? And like, yeah, we are, we could figure out something to do. What do you want to do? And I'm like, so I didn't go back to that club. So yeah, it differed from those schools. So I don't know how it is where you are, but I would definitely recommend to try out some clubs. Next, I think a kind of underrated thing to make friends on exchange is to kind of get involved outside of school too. Obviously you would rather probably have friends at your school that you can like have lunch with and stuff, but when I like did things outside of school that I didn't really consider an active step to getting friends, I did get a lot of great memories and talk to a lot of people. For example, youth groups in the US are super common. It's like a church group, and I went there with my host sister, so I knew one from before. But they just like met once a week, ate a lot of snacks, played games, got to know each other, and it was a really small group, so I really got to be like integrated there. And so when I changed host family, I tried out a youth group in my host family's church, but then I didn't know anyone, but I met some people from my old school actually. But so I tried that too. That wasn't as fun because it was super huge and it was more like Bible reading and stuff. But definitely try a youth group if you're able to, even though if you're Christian or not, I would definitely recommend to try that out. If there's a neighborhood party, go to that. Maybe you meet some peers. There are definitely maybe some volunteer work you could also get involved in and meet friends. And also if you have like, for example, an exchange friend from another school, you could ask to hang out with them even though they don't go to your same school, but maybe you'll make some friends through them, which obviously is great. Speaking of, another topic that I want to talk about are exchange student friends. Before I left, I was like, I do not have time for exchange people. I'm here to make American friends. I want to be in the American culture, and really just like underrated exchange students. But I quickly found out that like exchange students are the only ones who know what you're going through, and they are there as the same reason as you, so you are probably a lot more alike than a lot of other people because you are adventurous, you want to do fun things, you're there to make friends, as well as you're so far away from home, you just like get each other on that exchange aspect things, which for me, like getting American friends, it was a real struggle. I really had to, as I said, you have to put yourself out there, take a lot of initiative. But with exchange students, I didn't even have to try. We just like clicked, and like my best memories from my exchange are like the exchange student meetings with my coordinator, because I just remember I looked so much forward to that. It was so effortlessly, but again, that might also differs from every situation, and some people aren't that fortunate even to have a coordinator with a lot of other exchange students. But that is at least something I wanted to say. Do not underestimate exchange student friends, even though you are on exchange to like be a part of like that culture, and you're not really there to like learn Italian vocabulary and stuff, but it is great. It was for me at least. My best friends are exchange students. Also, just to like kind of touch this topic, if you don't make that great friends, it's okay. You're not alone. As I said, I get a lot of questions about the friends topic, about people who don't feel like they have great friends. So it is super normal, unfortunately. And it might like not help a lot of me saying that, but like I truly understand how much it sucks to not have friends. And I personally started questioning myself so much, like, why am I not making friends? I've never struggled with this. But then I started like answering myself, or like of a lot of reasons I felt like I couldn't be myself, and then I just had no personality, and that I just stood there, didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say, was not able to be funny. And then I was like, okay, but like if I can't contribute it, of course they don't want me, which obviously is really bad and kind of dangerous to think. But like I would say, as long as you have people, like some people to talk in your classes, maybe just one nice face, and if you have people to eat lunch with, maybe that is good enough for a year if you don't get great friends. And if you want to like hang out with a group at a dance or whatever, most people are nice. If you just ask like, do you want to do something before the dance, like what are you guys doing, I would love to hang out with you if you have any plans and stuff, they probably won't say no. Again, be the instigator and be the one who takes initiative. And with that, I think that is gonna be it for today's video. If you are or have been on exchange, hopefully you can relate a little, and if you're going to, again, remember that every situation is different, but I hope you got something out of this video. So I will see you guys soon, and have a great day.